Hey guys, it's Juniper and this is my first video for this YouTube channel. For like a year now, I've been wanting to talk about like story times of like guys I've talked to because I got some crazy stories. The first guy I like really talked to and like it's the juiciest story my freshman year of high school. So basically, I went to a school that was like known for its fights and the drama and like it was just known as like a bad school. It was a neighborhood high school. It had like a bunch of bad reviews about it. I didn't want to go there because of my counselor in middle school. If she would have answered her email, I wouldn't have went to that school and none of this would have happened. When I first went, my first month, it wasn't that bad. Like, it was just like very depressing and very boring. I ended up sitting with this girl that knew in my middle school. She already made a friend her first week, so I started sitting with them. High school got a little better. I remember that the table, like 2 tables away from us, was like a bunch of guys our age. I remember my middle school's friend liked one of the boys on the table, and she's like, oh, that guy's kind of cute. I've been kind of eyeing him, and I was like, shoot your shot, like what's the worst that can happen? But we ended up asking a girl if she can get that guy's Snapchat for us or for my friend, and then she did. I remember like a week later she comes up to us and she's like, guys, like I've been texting the wrong guy the whole time. I remember thinking like, oh, in order to make high school not boring, I need a crush. But then I remember the same week I like saw this guy in the hallway. He had the like skater boy like Hot Topic style. He had like curly hair covering his eyes, and like I don't know, he just kind of gave that like mysterious vibe. Yeah, bye. I was 5'6" at the time. He was like 5'8". He wasn't even that tall, but like still I was like, oh, like that's my victim. I ended up telling that girl, like she ended up getting the curly hair guy's Snapchat. So I was like, oh, perfect, give it to me. Like, and she did. She asked him if it was okay. I asked her if it was okay, and it was okay. So I ended up getting the guy's Snapchat. The same day we started talking, like we ended up finding out that we have like the same music taste. We actually started getting along like really quickly, or at least I think so. But I like also started venting to him. Growing up, I would get bullied, but also it's because I was low-key a little bully, because I remember this one time I tripped this kid, and yes, it was on purpose, but I tripped him, and then after that he hated me, and then he started picking on me with his friends, and then I was getting bullied for like 2 years. I remember like 2 times from like 2 different guys, like after school, they like came up to me and they like literally wanted to fight me. I'm not glad, I was a little scared. Yeah, I would get bullied during middle school like a lot. I remember in 7th grade I liked this guy, and I thought he liked me back because he was like very like, you know, we were friends, and then no, we were just friends. Like, yeah, I thought he liked me. He ended up finding out that I liked him, and he stopped talking to me. So sucked at the time because I felt like it mattered at the time, because I remember there was this one time during Valentine's Day, this kid brought like chocolates, flowers, a letter to like his like crush or his first girlfriend, and I was just like, oh, that's so cute. Like, I'm never gonna get that. I would go on Omegle and try to get a boyfriend. Like, guys, I was insane. Like, literally first day I started talking to him, I started liking him. Like, oh my god, that was so easy. Like, after like a while, I posted myself on my Snapchat, made sure I looked good, made sure her face was eating, no makeup, period, like lip gloss on. He saw what I looked like, and then we ended up bumping into like, sorry, I have like everything written on my computer. Ended up bumping into each other in the hallway. I was like, oh, I started running out. Loki started running. Like I was speedwalking. Like he texted me. He was like, "Oh, I think I just like saw you," and I was like, "Oh, did you? Like I don't think I saw you." No, yeah, but like after a while, I like stopped being scared, and then he ended up waving at me like in the hallway. So I was like, yeah, I started waving at him back, and eventually, I don't know, I got the courage. I think I got the courage to go up to him and start talking to him in person. And I remember one time he was like, "I'll walk you to class," and I was like. But no, yeah, I started really liking him. I think it was every month my mom would give me money just to like have, and I remember I like had $60, and I went to the store and I got him a gift, and I even ordered stuff on Amazon. I got this man candy, I got him I think like a letter, I got him like candles, I got him stickers to his favorite anime, I got him a necklace of Naruto. I spent all my money, but I was like really into this guy and I really wanted him to like me back. I remember I gave him his gift on his birthday, and he was so happy, and he was like, oh my god, nobody's ever got me a gift before, like thank you, can I hug you? And I was like, girl, man. This is where the juiciness comes in. So we had homecoming, right? But during homecoming, my middle school's friend, she ended up meeting this girl. This girl kind of just introduced herself. I think she was plotting, because I think she knew that I liked this guy. So after homecoming, she would start coming up to us during lunch, and she would say hi to my middle school friend and her friend. She wouldn't really say hi to me. She would hug them, and I'd be joking like, oh, what about me? And then she was like, just rolling her eyes. She was like, and I remember being like, telling my middle school friend like, do you see this? And then she was like, yeah, like she's definitely like got some feelings towards you. And I was like, I thought she was homophobic. So I was like, okay, well, didn't think much of it. This one girl who was also friends with my lunch table, she kind of started talking to me, telling me about this crush that she had, and she's like, who do you like? And I was like, well, like I like this one boy. And then she was like, oh, him, like I know who likes him. And I was like, who? And she's like, I'm not gonna tell you, like, then why would you tell me that? So she's like, okay, fine. So she tells me it's the homecoming girl. So I was like, oh. And I found out they had the same English class. I was like, oh, I'm cooked. Like, yeah, I didn't have any classes with the guy. Turns out he didn't even have lunch with me. Like, he would just sneak in and just to see his friends. I was also insecure, so I was like, yeah, I got no competition. Like, it's fine. Honestly, I was gonna back off because I was like, well, like, I don't even know, like, if he likes me. Like, she was already chit-chatting with him, so I was like, okay, like, I'm gonna back off. Then the homecoming girl started coming to our lunch table with her best friend, and then she started, like, sitting with us. I was like, whoa. Yeah, we ended up kind of, like, talking, and she ended up, like, talking to me more. Her best friend, I would always compliment her because I was like, oh my god, you're so pretty, like, I love your piercings. And she was like not really talkative, so I was like, I don't think she likes me either. But I think she was shy because I remember this one time she made a joke and I laughed so hard. And after that, we ended up becoming best friends. After, when I was best friends with homecoming girl's friend, her best friend ended up telling me that homecoming girl said that if I didn't back off of curly head, she was gonna beat me up. So I was like, wait, what did I do? Like, and she was known for, like, fighting in middle school. Like, she would talk about it, brag about it, and I was just like, I've never been in a fight. I was gonna back off. Like,
no, I'm not gonna back off no more.
I remember to our table, we were bullies, girl. We were a bully. Like, we would make fun of everybody, especially the table next to us. We would make fun of them. I remember that this one time, I think I threw a ketchup packet at them. I think it was me. Yeah, it was me. I grabbed the ketchup packet and I like, and then they were like, who's that? And then I was like, and then I ended up throwing and then they found out it was us. They ended up, like, saying something. Homecoming girl stood up and she was like, shut up, or I don't know what she told her. And then they started going back and forth. This one girl and her. Every week, this high school, there would be a fight. So I was like, oh, it's coming. And they ended up fighting. I think homecoming girl swung first, and then they ended up fighting, and homecoming girl lost. But, you know, I was just like, damn, like, and I was like, did I start that? We kind of messed with each other in English class. And then she ended up saying, we're dating now. And it was with me and my middle school friend's friend. It was all three of us. We were walking out, leaving high school. And then she was like, oh, you were here? Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry. But yeah, like, I'm dating him now. And I was like, that little look. So then after that, I was like, okay, now I know that I need to officially back off and no more messing around. Like, now I know that, like, they're dating. After that, I just stopped talking to him. And he stopped talking to me too. But it's because he found out that I liked him. And I was like, how on earth did he find out? And I come to find out that that girl that asked me and told me who she liked and then asked me who I liked, she told him, technically. Because she told her crush. And then her crush was friends with him. So I was like, and I was like, what? That's not true. But no, he didn't believe me. So, and then after that, I was like, all right, well, it's time to be independent. And then I ended up dyeing my hair. My mom whooped me for that. She whooped me real hard after that. I ended up starting wearing jewelry. Like, I started changing my style, like wearing glasses, wearing a little bit of makeup to school. Like, I started looking more feminine. I come to find out on a FaceTime from my middle school friend's friend that the girl was lying. Homecoming girl was lying. She never dated this man. My middle school friend's friend asked my crush, like, if it was true, and he was like, no, I never asked her out. We're not dating. Like, I never asked her out. And he was actually gonna hook up with this girl at a park. I was like, this, not only did this girl lie, but now damn, I got another person, like, on this man, like, girl. Then one time, this is after my birthday, by the way. After my birthday, she's like, oh my god, Valentine's Day is coming up. I can't wait for Valentine's Day. Me and my man are gonna make fun of everyone who's single. Say that in front of me, and mind you, I'm single too. So I was like, oh, and I was like, wait, your man? The one who was gonna go hook up with a girl at the park? The one who said he's not dating you? That one? And she's like, what? You said that? I was like, yeah. But I said that in a group chat we were in. And she was so mad. She was so mad. She ghosted him, like she stopped talking to him, and I was just watching the mess unravel. She had this like TikTok on her story. It was like me and my man, and then she deleted that. it was funny. It was funny. After that, I would tell her like, it's okay, girl. Like, you're prettier than the girl he's talking to. Like, don't worry about him. Like, this, that, the third. And then I knew he was vulnerable, so I was like, I'm gonna get at that. I remember this one time I got him a ring that I saw at the mall. I was like, hey, this reminded me of you. Like, I remember I started like kind of flirting with him more. After that, me and him also started talking like more. Like, he wasn't leaving me undelivered anymore. He was answering me super fast. Who man out? I'm just kidding. You excited for Valentine's Day now? Like, I'm just kidding. If there was anybody in the friend group talking bad about him, later on I'd go tell them and be like, oh yeah, they said this about you. Like, no, I don't like them. And then I remember that there was this gay boy that came up to me and we were like kind of talking because he was cool with one of my friends. He was like, oh, what's going on with you and him? Like, you guys are so cute together. And I remember telling him about it. And he was like, oh, so he's gay? And I was like, well, for me only, yeah. And then he ended up texting him because he wanted to make friends. And I confronted him and I was like, you texting my man. I was messy in high school. It was bad. Like, guys, that was not me. Looking back at it now, I'm nothing like that. Like, I don't even know why I act like that. After that, you know what, the ring I told you that I got him? He was wearing it to school this one time and my friend purposely asked him like, oh, like, that ring's so nice. Who got it for you? And then he was like, oh, my bae. Oh, guys, when I heard that, I was like, wait, you're who? All of a sudden we're dating now too. Like, yeah, my feelings for him started getting stronger, and then he would continuously like flirt too, and then I would flirt too, and then we started flirting with each other. I remember he told one of my friends that like he wasn't gay, but that like if any gay person like hit on him, like he would want to experiment. But the only gay person he was talking to was me, so I was like, hello. I volunteered. We ended up hanging out, but I didn't want to hang out one-on-one. I was so scared. I was like, no, like, I've never been on a date, like, never, like, no. So I was so freaking scared. I ended up telling homecoming girl's friend, who was now my best friend. We're gonna call her best friend now, because she was my best friend. I know that girl was mad, because I took her best friend, and I took her man. Like, oh, she was mad at me, y'all. My best friend and me, I ended up inviting her to the hangout. Also, when we hung out, we met up at a Starbucks. Why meet up? And this girl, my best friend, came hair done, makeup done, and her cleavage was out. So I was like, oh, are we on a date now? Like, what? I didn't think much of it. I remember we went out to eat, all three of us. Then we got a smoothie after that. And then we went to his house because it was snowing. And he invited us to go to his house. When I went to his house, I like met his little dog. And then I met his brother. And then me and my friend were crunching on it. And we were like, oh, you didn't know you had a brother? You didn't tell me you got a brother? Like, just kidding. Like, oh, I might go for the brother. I was like, oh. Wait, after that, we really did, all three of us, get along. Like, it was giving all, like, friend group. Considering the fact that, like, my friends in the friend group would tell me, like, oh, he doesn't like you. Like, he's not gay. Like, this, that, the third. And I'd be like, then why is he giving me all these signs? They're like, I don't know, but I don't think he's gay. I don't think he likes you. Same girls that would be like, oh, my God, I actually touched his hand today. Like, I also ended up meeting his sister during school, and he was like, oh, here, I wanted you to say hi to my sister. And she was so sweet, and she was so pretty, and she smelled so good. I still remember to this day. She smelled like Ariana Grande Cloud. And then I remember after that, me and him ended up having that one-on-one hangout. I was so scared. So when we ended up hanging out at the mall, that same day, we got a little intimate. We did not, like, I don't know how to say this without saying this. It's not like, hold on. Levels of intimacy base 1. Wasn't like first base. But it also wasn't home run, if you know what I mean. After that, I immediately came home. I called my two friends. I called my best friend. And then I called my middle school friend. And I told them, like, what happened. And I was like, oh my God, this just happened. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I knew it. I knew he was into me this whole time. Like really shocked and also really happy. Because now I was like, oh my God, this is finally going somewhere. Like, it wasn't just mixed signals anymore. It wasn't just flirting. It was like something happened. Also, we didn't even kiss. Like, girl, what? Like, anyways, whatever. I was really shocked and I was just really happy. After that, My whole table started like knowing because they ended up telling each other, obviously. I remember homecoming girl came up to me during gym and she was like, hey, is it true that you and him got like intimate? I was like, yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. I know she was tough. At first, I thought she was gonna get mad, but no, she did it. She was like, oh my god, like, that's so cool, that's so great, that's not the third. Yeah, she didn't act all surprised or nothing. She, like, actually, that's the reaction she gave me. After that, I started noticing that my best friend, like, kinda was showing signs of liking him. I remember this one time I was like, oh, I kinda wanna surprise him and see him, like, when his class ends, but I don't know where his class is. And she was like, oh, he has chemistry. And I was like, how do you know that? How do you know that crap? I was like, wait, do you like my man? And then I remember like we're walking to his class. She was coming with me. She starts fixing her cleavage, fixing her. Oh, that same week it starts going around that me and him got intimate. So I'm like, who the f told? Because it wasn't me. And I couldn't even ask him because he was ghosting me, leaving me undelivered, not really talking to me. So I was like, I couldn't really ask him. So I had my friend ask him because she was talking to him. I was like, who's going around saying this? And I think it was homecoming girl because it was that same week she found out. I ended up finding out that he told his best friend though, so I was kind of bothered a little bit, but I also was kind of awkward. And I actually, speaking of his best friend, I actually saw him like this week, literally yesterday at Target, and I was like, oh. After that, my best friend, she's upset because she's like, oh, I just got into an argument with homecoming girl. She just kind of told me mean things, like she's mad at me. I don't know why. I go to lunch that same day, and she is fuming, yelling out of her mouth like, oh, that's my ex. I was talking to him first. To our table. She's like venting to them. And I'm like, And I looked at her and then she stopped talking. So then I went up to her and was like, are you talking about me? Was that about me? And she was like, yep, it was. Why am I gonna lie to you in your face? Like, oh, okay. Now you want to show your true colors. So then we started going back and forth, and then Katie stopped us. Like, I felt like it was gonna escalate, but it didn't. People were recording, like, it was messy, but yeah, nothing happened. After that day, I let it be. I ignored it. Then my best friend started talking to my crush because she was like, oh, I need advice for my situation with my crush from a guy. So I let it happen again. I didn't really think much of it. And then they started talking a little too much. And I remember this one time I came out of my gym and they're talking to each other. And he like waved at me. I'm like, F you. Like, no, all of a sudden you want to wave at me? Her too. Like, what the hell? Like, you literally knew I liked this guy from the beginning. And I've been telling her like all my personal things, not even with him, but like other personal things. So it just kind of bothered me that like, damn, the switch up. After that, I remember I went up to her and I confronted her and I was like, hey, I'm tired of like being like confused. Like, do you like him or do you not? If she were to tell me that she did like him, I would have just left it be and be like, all right, I'm officially done. But she kept lying in my face and be like, no, I don't like him. I don't like him. Just like a friend, like this, that, the third. But I was like, oh, I don't know. I had a gut feeling. And then after that, I was like, oh, if you're lying to me, I'm gonna. She was like, what? Do you want me to stop talking to him? I'll stop talking to him. And I was like, yes, please. What the hell? Like, you're my best friend. You're not supposed to be talking to my crush that I got intimate with. And then I ended up finding out he called me annoying. I wasn't annoying when you were calling me babe. I'm just kidding, but it was like, okay, like, damn. I genuinely thought that was gonna go somewhere, and it obviously didn't. Especially to find out that then my friend likes him, and she was not only my friend, but my best friend. We talked every day. Kind of sucked. She started going out with him after school. Like, they started going out to eat at McDonald's. Eventually, it upset me, but I just ghosted her, and I also ghosted him. And I never talked to both of them. I remember the day that my friend was talking to the guy, like, I was so ready to go home and cry. And I remember my mom picked me up. And then I remember seeing that we were not going home. And she was like, oh, I got a surprise for you guys. I was like, no. And then sophomore year, my ex-best friend had a class with me. Also, I had a class with my crush. So I was like, great. This year is gonna be great. A homecoming girl, she just started mean mugging me all the time. She would come into my classroom to drop off her friend. And then she like insult me on her way out. There was this one time I wore like these green colored eye contacts. So I wanted to change my style up. I remember she was like fake eye colors. Like, no, duh. I didn't wake up with Shrek eyes. Like, after that, I threw the eye contact away and I was like, I'm never wearing this ever again. When I would walk in the hallway, she started pushing me and like, she was just so aggressive. Like, she freaking hated me. Like, I was ready to start a new year and like, you know, I ended up getting straight A's. I changed my classes, but she still would pick on me in the hallways. She would laugh at me and like, oh, it was just so tiring. It was happening for months and months and months, and I would ignore her. I told my parents about it. I told the deans about it, and they were like, we're gonna talk to her. And no, she just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And eventually somebody came up to me and was like, is it true that you and Miss Alex Crouch got intimate? And I was like, what? And they were like, aren't you friends with homecoming girl? And I was like, no, not anymore. She was like, oh, no wonder she's out there in the hallway yelling that you and him got intimate. And I was like, she's what? And I was like, you know what? Her. She's just mad that I took her, man. She's just mad that she got into that fight and she lost. She's just mad because I started going off on her. I was so mad. Girl was like, oh my god, that's crazy, like da da da. And then after that I was gonna leave, and then I look back, my ex-best friend's there, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna tell her, she's gonna tell homecoming girl. The next day, and she comes into my classroom and she's like, you're a writer, like, you little like, keep my name out your mouth. And I'm like, you were talking about me first. I'm only saying something back. Like, I literally was trying to drop it. And then she was like, I'm gonna beat you the up and knock you out. Shiver my timbers, actually, because I was actually scared. Like, I like never been in a fight like that. Also, it was Friday, girl. Like, it was Friday. That mean that Saturday, Sunday, I was not gonna see her. So I know she was gonna put her hands on me. And on top of that, the week after was Thanksgiving week. So I was like, oh, me is getting my ass beat. And I was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. And I've never been into a fight, so I was like, whoa, I was a little scared. I was a little scared. And then the teacher did nothing. Security didn't call us to the office. Nothing happened. And I was tired of this girl picking on me. And I went up to her and I fought her. And I still regret it to this day. Literally cried over that. I felt so bad for her. Like, I just hated that I put my anger into her. I felt like a monster, genuinely. I remember seeing everybody just look at me, and I was like thinking like, damn, what did I do? I was also just so sad because I felt so misunderstood. Like, I've told teachers, I've told the deans, I've told my parents, like both my parents, I've told friends. Nobody did nothing. So that's what just like made me like get this whole bunch of ball of anger that I was bottling up, and I just lashed it out on her. And I still feel bad about it to this day. But I was on the news, girl. I was on the news. I was so shocked. Family ended up like saying that like her daughter was so traumatized, that she was getting picked on at school, and that this, that, the third. If anything, I was getting picked on. I wasn't even picking on that girl. They were making me seem like a bad guy. And in that moment, I guess I was. But like, it was just so upsetting to like feel all of this. A homecoming girl, she ended up telling everybody in that group, like, he said this about you, he said this about you, he said this about you. And they all believed it. They all believed it. I knew they were waiting for that moment. Like, girl, bye. I was gonna say sorry to her, but she ended up transferring schools. I came to school, I cut my hair, and I remember as I was leaving school, I got hit in the back of my head. I didn't know who it was. These people were wearing like ski masks. I didn't fight back. I was so like upset about like what happened that I truly did think that I deserved it. My mom kind of made me feel bad about what happened. I also took therapy, and it was like so embarrassing to tell my therapist what happened. 2 weeks later, my dean's like, oh, like, I thought you and your ex-crush were friends. Like, what happened? I used to see you guys walk in the hallway all the time. Like, oh, what? I was like, oh, yeah, we're not friends anymore. Then he was like, oh, well, I changed him out of your classroom because you do know what happened, right? And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, he was the one who hit you. What? What do you mean he hit me? Like, I was so shocked. I was like, girl, bye, what? After that, my ex-best friend and my ex-crush ended up dating throughout the whole 4 years of high school. I mean, although it did suck, I can't lie, they did make such a cute couple. I didn't really fully get over it till like maybe my junior year of high school. Because my sophomore year for sure, like secretly I was like, what if he apologizes? Like, what if he reaches out? And then junior year, I was like finally at acceptance. I remember junior year, this new girl, she started coming to school. I told her like, oh my god, you're so pretty, like you should sit with us. And she did end up sitting with us. I ended up following her on Instagram. And I remember when I was at home, I was like, wait, she and my ex-crush follow each other. Is he hitting on her? Like, girl, it's our first week of school. Like, is he hitting on her? So the next day I tell her like, hey, like, do you know this guy? And then she was like, yes. Why? And I was like, so how do you know him? And then she's like, you tell me first. And I was like, no, you tell me first. So then she ended up telling me that during middle school and even like her freshman through like sophomore year, they were talking like romantically. Speaking about karma, like, damn, what do you mean I'm talking to his ex talking stage? Like, clock it. I felt so bad. I was like, damn. my ex-best friend, I ended up meeting her ex. So I was like, oh, God's just working in my favor. Like, we stopped being friends because she found like any opportunity to try to reach out to him. He ended up having class with us. And we were giggling and laughing and hee ha. And she was like, oh my God, what if he thinks we're laughing at him? Like, I'm gonna text him. Girl, you did not need to text him. And thank God he was so dry to her. Like, I know you, man. After that, she also like would try to talk to the guys. I like felt like because I was in a relationship and she knew she couldn't sabotage that because we didn't go to school with him. I don't know, she was just upset. So I was like, honestly, I don't know. And then we just stopped being friends. But no, yeah, that's everything that happened literally freshman year. Yeah, looking back at it now and when I reminisce, it's like, damn. It's just like crazy to think like it was freshman year. Now it's like I'm in my freshman year of college. And it's just like, it's just crazy to me. Like, summer before my senior year, I also went through something so traumatic. It just kind of like humbled me and made me snap into reality. And like, I ended up like going up to my ex-best friend. Was like, hey, like, can I talk to you? Like, I just want to say I'm so sorry for ending our friendship the way I did. Like, I came up to you and I like kind of threatened you. Like, I'm genuinely so sorry. Like, I should have never done that, because deep down I felt like maybe everything happened because I said that. It always like sank in my stomach and made me feel bad, and I felt like, you know what, maybe I should talk to her about that. And I did. And we apologized to each other. And we still talk to each other to this day. Like, we text here and there. But as for that guy, I haven't talked to him ever since. There was this one time though, it was actually like last year. I was just leaving school. I like went on the bus. I was heading home. I was reading my book. And then I looked up and I was like, that guy looks like him. It was him. I was like, man, that man can't leave me. Like, I was done with school and everything. Like, girl, why am I bumping into him? Like, goodbye. And I don't think there was anything on my end to clear up, talk about, or anything. So I kind of just left it at that. I'm not entirely like upset about it because I do think that it changed me in so many ways. And honestly, I don't think I'd be the person I am today if none of that happened. So it's not like I regret it. After this, I'm going to talk about my crazy stories on Grindr. So stay tuned for that because, girl, I have tea. Stay tuned for the next one, guys.